appreciate the folk dancers as they enter the stage. Well done.
Thank you very much. As we prepare to invite our chief guest, I wish to acknowledge and just just give a bit of background to things. These young people are going into the skill sector. I hope one day they can invite Mrs. Mulwa to tell them the story of an entrepreneur, a teacher who became an entrepreneur in the education space and many other spaces. Sometimes these things are not possible without partners. I wish to recognize the presence of Family Bank, without whom we would not be discussing Lukenya College today. A lot of entrepreneurs are enabled by borrowed money, and we are not unique. Mama Mulwa is not unique in that. So we wish to acknowledge, celebrate you, and tell you this is you. Thank you very much, Family Bank. I also wish to recognize the presence of Mr. Peter Nzavi. All the branded t-shirts, the branding you can see everywhere, a partner for the Lukenya schools for very many years. We would not be this colorful without you. Thank you very, very much. And he works within deadlines. In the private sector, we need people like Mr. Nzavi. You know, today you wake up, I know there's another one, but you wake up and say, I want 300 t-shirts, and they land in the morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We live in the education ecosystem, and today we are graced, our occasion is graced by Mr. Kinuthia, the Deputy Director of Education of Nzawi. Where are you, sir? Yes. That is the man who allows us to breathe in the morning. He can wake up and say there is no Lukenya College. But thank you very much, Mr. Kinuthia. This is your home. Karibu san. It is now, before that, I wish to acknowledge other members of the Lukenya family. Engineer Sebastian Choni, I'm very sorry I didn't recognize you earlier. This is Engineer Choni. In his many capacities, his current capacity is that he's helping us with all the electrical needs of our institutions. We celebrate you, Engineer. I wish to also just point out my family. They are also there. Mr. David Partington, my father-in-law, just wave. There he is. Stacy, wave. That is my daughter. Thank you very much. It is now my humble pleasure to invite my daughter, that one who waved, Asmame. Stacy, the public demand. It is now my humble pleasure to invite the Managing Director of the Lukenya Institutions, Mrs. Martha Kasanga Mulwa, to come and take over the next part of the program. Student President, this should be your next speaker. She should tell you stories. She's now a grandmother, and she's absolutely fantastic at it. So take advantage, invite her, and put together a forum where she can talk to you about entrepreneurship. You will not regret it. Mrs. Martha Mulwa, escorted by her first grandchild, Anastasia Wambuli, her namesake.
One of our directors, board of directors, for the wonderful introduction. Speaker for today. But before I call upon him, I want to say one or two things. Dr. Omboto, TVET Directorate, and Mr. Kinuthia, whom we have just known now, in Matiliko, our Minister for Education from the county, Makueni, Dr. Naomi, she's also a doctor, all our board of directors, all our distinguished principals, all our university dons, I think that's the right word, students and distinguished friends and visitors. Good afternoon. You know, a day like today is a day of great joy for the Lukenya group. But for me particularly, it's a day of great joy because my husband wanted very much to have training institution. I didn't understand it. I didn't know about it. I didn't want it. So I very quickly added to the certificate a boys' high school. And our lovely boys are here. So it became a boys' high school. But the certificate retained the name Lukenya Technical Training Institution. And we are very proud today because what he saw then is what we are doing here today. Thank you so much, Charles. Now, at this juncture, oh, you want to clap for me? Then give me a big clap. Thank you. So at this juncture, it's my great pleasure, my very honored pleasure to invite our guest speaker, Dr. Omboto, who represents our director of TVET, Professor Langat, who has sent him, very humbly sent him to us. We are very honored. Karibu. Let's give him a big clap. Can we give him a big, where are the drums? Can we give him a big clap? Can you stand up? Let's welcome our guest. Let's welcome our guest speaker. Let's give him a big clap. Thank you very much indeed. We are very honored. Thank you. Karibu sana.
The founder director, the CEC Education, Makueni County, all scholars present, and all distinguished guests and students. Good afternoon. My name, as you have heard, is Dr. Dominic Omboto. I'm here to represent the Director General of the Technical and Vocational Education and Training Authority. That is TVET, in short. That is TVET Authority. And maybe before I start my speech, I could wish to inform you on who we are in the TVET space, so that as I'm talking, you will be able to understand where I'm talking from. So, TVET Authority is a state corporation that was brought into existence by the TVET Act 2013. Remember, before 2013, TVET was totally unregulated, and therefore you could easily start a kiosk in the name of a college. You issue certifications, and students, and you are and graduates go to the market. So you understand that challenge. So basically, we were brought into existence to regulate and coordinate technical training in the country through development of standards for training, using the standards to accredit institutions, trainers, and the curricula from curriculum development bodies, and also ensure that accredited institutions continue to comply with the minimum standards through the various quality audits we conduct in TVET institutions. So as an authority, which again is regulating Lukenya College, we are indeed honored to grace this particular occasion of launching of the Lukenya College. I want to really appreciate the role that has been played by the Kasanga family in the TVET sector, right from primary schools, secondary, college now, and even university. I think you have played a very big role, as I can say, in empowering the community and also providing employment opportunities. That one we can see because there are quite a number of staff that are working in the institutions. And indeed we can demonstrate that by Mama starting this college is not really pursuing profits. I think, Madam, if it's the profits, you long pursued them, you got the profits, now you are actually giving back to society. We recommend you for that. And what I can see around, and what I've learned from these particular institutions is that sustainable institutions are built out of very strong values. The kind of values you hold when you are laying the foundation of an organization will go a long way in creating sustainable organizations. Now, from TVET as we know it, there are very many reforms that have been lately instituted. And one of the reforms that we are currently pursuing is the movement towards knowledge-based education and training to what we are calling now competence-based education and what? Training. Many of us have always thought that this is a very complex, CPET is a very complex concept that we are not able to live to the dream. But I want to demystify it briefly, and this is by saying that CPET basically means a student has joined the college to pursue masonry. At the end of it, is he working out a mason, or it's somebody who again needs further training by a contractor for another period for him to become competent? If a student is able to come to Lukenya College, pursue plumbing, he goes out there with minimal skilling, with minimal training, he is able to perform. Then we say that this particular trainee really acquired competence-based what? Training. Now, for us to achieve this kind of training, we need a curriculum that is actually addressing the needs of industry. A curriculum that is industry driven. A curriculum that while its development, or while developing it, scholars are not simply sitting in the staff room to simply say that this is what to be taught, isn't it? It is a curriculum you develop in a collaboration with the industry. The industry are the people who know the competencies that are required in the industry, isn't it? Therefore, as a scholar, you need to be told that for you to train a competent plumber that you want in industry, these are the skills that you must impart in that particular training. So we need a curriculum that is actually industry driven. At the same time, training must be organized in a way that these competencies are achieved. And how do we do it? We need to ensure that students are actively involved in acquiring what? In acquiring skills.